2 chefs, 3 kitchens, 1 objective: to stay safe and prevent costly injuries. In each round, our chefs will compete to see who's got the chops when it comes to avoiding these common kitchen hazards. Calling the play-by-play, Safe's very own Courtney Marriott and Edgar Garcia Ramirez.
Now let's meet the competitors.
Straight from the freezer, it's the Iceman. But will he melt under pressure? Known as the Heat, she's a seasoned professional. But will this competition be too hot to handle? Tensions have reached the boiling point. Who will make the cut? Get ready for Kitchen Safety Showdown!
We're here in the kitchen of a busy downtown restaurant to get some tips on avoiding painful cuts and burns.
Our chefs are sharpening their knives. That's a good sign, because believe it or not, a dull knife is more dangerous than a sharp one. Fingers tucked, the Iceman is demonstrating great technique.
But the Heat wins the first point for taking the extra precaution of wearing a protective glove.
He's really putting some muscle behind that chop.
Yeah, maybe too much. That chopping board looks unsafe.
Wait, what's this?
A slightly wet towel placed under the cutting board can prevent it from slipping.
Good thinking, Heat.
Choosing the right knife is important, not just for looks, but for safety. A serrated knife is best for slicing through thin skin without crushing the tomato.
Uh-oh, the Heat is hesitating.
Oh, what a mess! Nice assist! Score 1 for the Iceman. Remember to always choose the right tool for the job.
That's right, Iceman. Never leave a knife in a sooty sink.
Or loose in a drawer. And he finishes with the easy layup.
The score is tied 2-2. Now, let's see how our chefs are doing at the stove.
Uh-oh, not so good. The Heat's loose towel and hair could catch fire.
That's better. So neat and tidy. I'm impressed.
Is the Heat losing her cool? That flame is dangerously high. Notice how the flame covers only the bottom portion of the pan. Much safer.
Ouch! That's gotta hurt!
Nice use of the oven mitt.
Hot pan, corner!
The Iceman has taken a commanding lead. But can he handle the heat from this deep fryer?
Wow, he's getting awfully close to the hot oil.
Hey, use this.
A long-handled tool is a better choice, but to really play it safe and prevent burns, he should also consider wearing fryer gloves.
Holy smokes! Is the Iceman gonna drain that boiling hot oil before it has time to cool?
Excellent use of the timeout.
The score is tied.
The pressure's on. For the round-winning point, our chefs must choose the safest way to move this heavy pot of simmering sauce.
What's this? He's bringing in backup? Good call by the Iceman.
And he ices this round.
Welcome back to Kitchen Safety Showdown.
In this round, we're visiting Dicky Joe's, where we'll learn about how to avoid painful falls and strains.
It's a tight squeeze in there.
Behind you!
So communication is essential in the kitchen.
Now let's meet our competitors.
The Heat and the Iceman are ready to mix it up in round 2.
Next to cuts, slips, trips, and falls are a leading cause in restaurant injuries.
So what's one way we can prevent them?
That's right, slip-resistant shoes. Your first step in kitchen safety. That's funny, right?
Spills are a common hazard in a busy kitchen. Wearing flimsy footwear, like flip-flops, is a recipe for disaster.
Good shoes are important. Also, be sure to clean up spills immediately.
And the Iceman mops up another easy point.
Uh-oh, looks like he can't see where he's going.
Nice save by the Heat. Be sure to keep your walkways clear and avoid carrying a load that blocks your view.
I don't think that milk crate is gonna hold his weight.
And it could easily tip over.
A step stool is a much safer choice.
The score is tied. Let's see how well our competitors handle muscle strains, another common kitchen complaint.
Hoisting that heavy load above shoulder height is a bad idea.
And bending down low isn't much better.
Ooh, looks like the Iceman could use an ice down.
And maybe some lessons on safe lifting from the Heat.
If you're doing something that requires repetitive motion, like whisking or chopping, rotate tasks with a coworker whenever possible.
Or let a machine do it for you. Consolation point to the Heat for cooling her heels with that anti-fatigue mat.
And that's the icing on the cake.
And a sweet victory for the Heat. Welcome back to Kitchen Safety Showdown. A busy hospital like this one prepares hundreds of meals every day.
And like any commercial kitchen, it can be a minefield of safety hazards.
Good thing there are doctors nearby.
In this round, the Iceman and the Heat will show us how to work safely around kitchen machines and chemicals.
First, some ground rules. You must be at least 18 to operate kitchen equipment like this, and no one should try it until they're properly trained.
Okay, chefs, what's the most important thing to remember when you're making a ham sandwich?
That's right. Before you start, make sure the blade guard is in place and working properly. Nice bling, Iceman. But that chain could easily get caught in the machine.
Keep your hair and clothing safely away from any moving parts. Delicious. It's time to clean up.
Not so fast, Heat.
Always shut down, zero out, and unplug machinery before cleaning or servicing.
And wear a cut-resistant glove with a vinyl cover to prevent contaminating other foods. As an extra precaution, use lockout, tagout procedures when equipment is directly wired to the breaker.
Make sure electrical cords and plugs are in good repair and equipment is grounded.
And keep outlets free of debris and grease.
Use extreme caution working around water and electricity.
And remember, Any equipment that's near a potentially wet area must be on a GFCI system.
We've gotten pretty good about watching out for harmful chemicals in the foods we eat. But what about the chemicals we use to clean our kitchens? Drain cleaners, oven cleaners, ammonia, chlorine?
That stuff will kill you if you aren't careful.
Especially if you happen to mix them together.
For safety, keep a list of all the chemicals you use.
Make safety data sheets available to all employees and train them on how to read labels and use chemicals safely.
Okay, time for our chemical safety pop quiz. Let's see if our chefs know which hazards these pictograms represent. Ready?
Nice job, chefs. Now, which of these is a good way to store diluted disinfectant? Point goes to the heat for picking the properly labeled container. Remember, never store chemicals in unlabeled containers.
Final question. When handling hazardous chemicals, which of the following precautions is not recommended? A. Use hand and eye protection. B. Wash your hands after use. C. Provide an emergency eye wash station. D. Toss the container when you're done. Yes! Be sure to check the label, safety data sheet, and local regulations before disposing of hazardous chemicals or containers.
And the heat melts the Iceman in round 3.
We've come to the end of today's competition. It's time to find out which chef will be the overall points champion. The Iceman kept his cool under fire, but he struggled in the second round and nearly choked in round 3. The Heat got off to a shaky start, but she came back strong in round 2 and really cut to the chase at the end. Wow, it looks like she smoked the competition. Be safe, and thanks for watching Kitchen Safety Showdown!